Hello, Ray.
Yes.
Hey, this is editor Bill Hernandez with rockbandreviews.com in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. How are you?
Wonderful. It's hot here. Probably just as hot there.
I tell you, well, I'm just walking in from a rainstorm, so it's pretty cool right now. But as Florida goes, the street is so heated up from the heat of the earlier day that it lasts about 10 minutes. The sun comes out, and then when you walk outside, you feel like you're in a sauna because now the street starts to steam. It's you can't win, I tell you. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I can't complain. And
I,
when I do, nobody cares anyway.
right?
But
Who cares?
thankfully.
I mean, you must be very excited about the nationwide release of Hired Gun, which debuts this
Oh,
Thursday,
absolutely.
June
Yeah.
29th at select theaters nationwide. I know it's been winning awards all around the world at the film festivals and such.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really interesting movie. And it shows the relationship of people when they get a job, get fired from a job. It's much different than what the public would think. And
Oh,
how you get hired. And unfortunately, in some people in the movie, they get fired and didn't even know they got fired.
point in case with Billy Joel.
Exactly. That means that people, spend a month or two, and you hear about the concert that some of your friends are all going, and you didn't get invited.
Exactly. Now, how did you become involved in this film? How were you approached?
Well, the guitar player Jay Graydon's a really good friend of mine, so Jay said it was a good idea, so that was enough for me. I didn't have to listen to a pitch, I didn't have to read the script or any of that stuff. His word was good enough for me.
Now, after viewing this film, I personally believe that everyone from garage band musicians to your average music fan will have a different outlook on the music business. Do you agree?
I agree, and I made my kids mandatory viewing. I made them watch it. They had to sit because they want to do music and they're teenagers. And I said, "This you got to see, so you can see what the world's really like."
Yeah, not only that, but they appreciate what they have from you because you can get fired at any time as well.
Exactly.
Now, so many musicians, like yourself, have played on, big Grammy-winning, multi-platinum albums, but yet when we look at the credits, their names are nowhere to be found. I mean, are there any rules or laws that have been established to ensure musicians get the notoriety they deserve?
But unfortunately, no. The answer to that would be no.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they can pay, they can write your name on there or not put your name on it. It's not really written in stone.
I mean, I was doing some research, and you've been extremely busy year after year after year. Whether you're producing, or whether you're writing, or whether you're on an album with Patti LaBelle or somebody else. I mean, you've been really, really fortunate and busy in this business.
Yeah, I've been real fortunate. People like what it is I do, and it fits so many different types of music that I'm always doing something, always working.
Yeah, which is great. And looking back, whether you were a kid or a teenager or whatever, when did you know you wanted to make music for a living?
Well, that's a good question. I think I was grown. Probably when I cut Jack in jail, I was going to do it for a living, to be sure.
Which is
I
a
wasn't really sure before then.
which is a fantastic song, man. I was just listening to that this morning, as a matter of fact.
Thank you.
Fantastic! Oh my gosh, man. There definitely is no music in existence these days like there were then.
Yeah, it was really a different time.
I
I
mean,
guess the new kids are doing something that they love, but it's a little different to my ear anyway.
I just hope everything goes full circle. That we go back to to doo wop at some point, or some really good jazz. I mean,
That might be pretty much wishful thinking. They need to head in a different direction.
I mean, I get in my car and thank God for satellite radio that we can actually have
Exactly.
jukeboxes
Exactly.
in our
Yes.
car
Yes.
that we don't have to put money in, and we say, I want to hear this song right now, and we can do it. But, you go back, 10 years when we didn't have this technology, and you say, I want to find an oldie station, and you can't find one.
Right.
I mean, nobody's
Right.
playing that mainstream right now. It's ridiculous. Um, Now, what do you think of the music business today? I mean, 30 years ago, you would walk into a record company, show them your stuff, you get signed, they actually put out a tangible album that you can actually hold, a cassette that you can hold. Nowadays, artists are making music and it's being streamed across all these different music services. What do you think of the music business today?
Well, it's obviously different.
Hmm.
Now they're more concerned about what your numbers are on Spotify and YouTube or something. Yeah.
Yeah, hits. Yeah, they want to see
I
how many
don't
hits.
quite understand all of that, but okay. I guess there's no more CDs and records and vinyl, and everybody just downloads it into their phone and plays it. So I guess it's a new way to do things.
I play guitar a little bit. Never been in a band. I just do it for myself. But I would think as a musician, you know, 20, 30 years ago, you had to write an album. You had to have 10 or 12 songs to put on an album. But nowadays, the younger generation are hearing a song on the radio and they go, I like that song. They buy it and that's all they're buying. What about all this other stuff that had been written that may never be heard?
Well, I think that's the fault of the musicians.
Yeah.
In the 70s, people were making albums, and they really cared about the music, and they tried to make every song strong so you could put it on. Some people would put the fast songs on one side, the slow songs on the other side, but they were all great songs.
Hmm.
And then in the 80s, somewhere in the mid-80s, people started cheating. And
Mm.
I remember when the producers, they say, okay, well, let's hire the top producer just to write one or two songs, then we'll get the cheap guys to fill in the rest of the eight, but we'll sell them all 12.
Hmm.
And they really thought that the public wouldn't know the difference. And at some point, the public said, I don't like those other 8 songs. I only like one or two.
Exactly.
And I think it's backlash, just like Ford and GM when they used to put the same car door on every car. They thought nobody would know the difference.
Now, you have a few kids. Some of them
I have
boys
4.
or men, I should say. Yeah. And are any of them following in your footsteps? You did mention that they want to get into the business.
Yeah, they want to play and they want to get into the business. I don't know if you call them following in my footsteps because they're doing it their way and they're doing it differently. But they love music, so I would think that something along my bloodline passed the inspiration of music on.
Now, do they come to you for advice or say, hey, I want to learn to play the guitar or whatever?
Are you kidding? I don't know anything.
Now, as a musician, are you self-taught as a guitar player and such?
Well, I'm formally trained on the clarinet and the saxophone, but I taught myself to play the guitar. But it was not as difficult because all of the training for music I learned on the clarinet and the saxophone. So music is music, so it didn't really make a difference.
Now, getting back to hired gun real quick. A lot of people are hired for these gigs, and from what I got from the documentary, which I've watched 3 times already, I'm just fascinated by it. I think it's amazing, and
Yeah.
and by what all the musicians are saying is you got to learn things quick. Now, there's a benefit, of course, to knowing how to read music, but what about these guys that just picked up a guitar and put the record on a slow speed and learned everything note for note? Now they're thrown into the lion's den and they can't read music. Do you think that's a problem, or these guys just have an ear and they could just pick it up and roll with it?
No, it's definitely a problem. If you can't read music, you're out of the club. It's not picking up by ear because maybe you'll never get to hear it. Maybe the first time you play it is on the music.
Hmm. Yeah, because you got to know.
If you're in that group, you're going to be out of the club. You just won't be able to read the charts and follow the show.
Yeah.
Like for you, wouldn't be able to do the Emmys or the Grammys or the Oscars if you didn't read music. You just would never make all the cues.
That makes sense. Now, with all the action.
If you were just jamming, I don't care how good you are, the rest of the band would have stopped and the lights would have changed on stage and you'd be still playing your guitar. You'd be the only one playing.
Yeah, because maybe they don't understand what key you're in, or it's an F sharp versus something else. And if you don't have that, you're going to drown, I think.
Yeah, you're going to drown. So you're out of that group.
Yeah. Now, with all the action-adventure films to choose from that are in the theaters right now, Pirates of the Caribbean and all that stuff, why do you think people should choose to see this film over anything else?
Well, this film is different from Pirates of the Caribbean. This is going to appeal to a different part of your membrane.
Yeah.
And it's one of those you just sit there, because everybody loves music, so everybody has their favorite band, and everybody thinks they know what's going on behind the scenes and everything. And when they see this, they just keep going, wow, oh, really, wow. So I think it's a big wow effect to this film.
It's certainly an eye-opener, and in this age of reality TV, you can't get more real than that.
Yeah.
There's no script.
No. word for it. Their opinion of what went on.
Yeah, and you're getting the good, the bad, and the ugly of the whole situation. So
All at the same time. That's right.
now, even though I previewed this on my computer, I'm definitely going to go Thursday because I want to see the full sound, the big screen, and I'm really going to enjoy it. And one final question: what can we expect from you personally in the future? What's coming up next? Any new recordings, new album? What are you doing?
Yes, I'm working on a new album, but I'm also spending time helping my kids work on their album.
Oh,
Whether they know it or not, I'm gonna stick my fingers in it a little bit.
fantastic. Listen, Ray, it's been an honor speaking with you. I've been a fan for a long time since the '70s, and I thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us today.
Sounds good, and thank you so much for your help and all your support.
Hey, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Can you give us a who you gonna call Ghostbusters?
Hi, this is Ray Parker Jr. And after all, who you gonna call?
Thank you so much, man. That's so awesome. Now that we're off tape, just a real quick thing that happened right before I called you. My wife called me and I says, babe, I really got to go. I'll call you back at work when I get done. I got an interview to do. She goes, oh, really? Who are you gonna call? And I just started cracking up. She had no idea. I said, you're not going to believe this when I tell you. And she just started dying. So, but I thank you for your time. And we're going to get this up and running within the next hour and put it on our website and put links to your websites or whatever you got going. And we'll send it to the publicist. And hopefully she'll send it right to you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. Sounds good.
All right. Actually, I have your phone number, so I'll just send you a text and I'll put the link in there for you and you can check it out.
Okay.
All right, Ray, thank you so much. Have a great day and stay cool, brother.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.